Hola clase de English 101 y 102. I'm Breck, obviously, and this is my self-help project. So the book that I picked for this project is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff for Teens by Richard Carlson, and it's just about how to not stress about like homework and like peer pressure, dating even, and just how to like help you with your anxiety if you have that, and depression, anything like that. And I don't know, it's just something that I was interested in because I do have a lot of problems in those areas. So like I said before, this book helps a lot with anxiety, and I know you guys probably don't see that in class because I'm pretty talkative and I joke around a lot, but I really do have a lot of serious anxiety problems. The past 2 years I haven't really had a lot of problems with my anxiety. It's still there, but it doesn't affect me as much as it had from like 4th grade to probably like middle sophomore year. It's probably because like I gained a lot of confidence and I started making new friends and just coming out of my shell a lot, so that definitely helped. But like 4th grade was like probably the beginning of it. It wasn't too bad, but then like I started to like realize like what anxiety really was, and that really got to me. So I even had to start seeing a counselor and like a shrink kind of person like that, and that definitely helped me a lot. I still do have some issues. I mean, you can ask Sierra because it was really, really bad in my earlier years, like elementary school and middle school. And again, like I said before, the book does help with depression. I've never been truly like diagnosed with depression like I have anxiety. It's always been really hard for me to just be happy. This year being senior year is probably the first year that I've like truly been happy, and my anxiety really hasn't like affected me very much. And I know it sounds cliche and everything, but being in this 6th period class has really helped me because just the having that small amount of people, it's like I feel like there's not as many people judging me, so I can express myself more. My goal for this book is to like just to help cope with my anxiety problems more and to not be stressed and just to be more happy with life. So we'll see how this turns out. See you guys next time! Hello class, this is my first entry on our self-help project. So like I said before in my introduction, I wanted this project to help me with my anxiety and to not be stressed as much. So to help with that, one of the chapters in my book is called Practice Not Sweating the Small Stuff. The main point of this chapter, it said to let things go and to not let things bother you. It also said that if you practice being more patient, you'll have less negative energy and be less stressed. So I decided to attempt this at work. So I work at Sportschley and there's this girl named Michelle. So she never does any of her work and we all get blamed for it when like obviously it's not getting done. Like a couple months ago there were a few markdowns on the shoes that we had to do, and she said she was gonna do it. She's like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll get it done. And we're like, okay, whatever. And so a couple days later when the sales started that the markdowns needed to be marked down for, I go into work and none of them are done. Like, she didn't do any of it. So again, like a week ago, there were some more markdowns again because there was another sale. And so from what happened last time, I decided to just do them all myself because I knew she wasn't going to do them and I really didn't want to get yelled at again. So I ended up doing them all, and then my managers found out about everything that happened, and I got praised, and actually one of them bought me Starbucks, so that was pretty cool. And she got her hours caught back. So this chapter in the book taught me that like this whole work situation really isn't worth sweating over because it's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's gonna get done, and in the long run, it's all gonna work out. So this whole work situation and reading this chapter in the book did help with my anxiety because it helped me to be less stressed and to not worry about as much. So that's all for my first entry, so I'll see you guys next time. Entry numero dos! So like I said in my introduction, I also wanted the self-help project to help me be just more happy with life. So the next chapter that I decided to read in my self-help book is called Remain Optimistic. So honestly in life, I'm kind of a pessimist. I mean, I always kind of expect things that end badly, and I easily get upset and I'm really bothered by a lot of little things. So like in class when we started saying like I'm a compulsive liar and prevaricate, like it really did kind of bother me because of my anxiety. And unfortunately that's just what anxiety does to me. Like when we first started saying that in class, like I would come to class each day saying, oh my gosh, they're gonna say it again, and then I'm gonna be in a bad mood and I'm gonna have like an anxiety attack because it bothers me. And that's a very, very pessimistic attitude, I think. So in that chapter, it says if you like are feeling pessimistic and stuff like that, it says to just ask yourself, is this really something to get upset over? And so I started asking myself that, and I realized that it's not something to get upset over because it's a joke. It's not like it's a serious thing. One of the ways it said to be more optimistic is to just be happy and just to laugh at yourself, and to focus on more like serious and real problems. And obviously being called a compulsive liar is not a real problem. This chapter definitely did help me with my anxiety and just to be more happy because I was able to just accept that was just a joke. And now even I'm calling myself a compulsive liar because I just kind of got over it. So, I'll see you guys in my entry numero tres. Hello, this is my third entry. So I know you've heard this from all my other entries, but obviously I let a lot of little things bother me and I get really stressed out really easily. So another chapter that I decided to read from my self-help book is Don't Let the Moods of Others Trick You Either. It just talked about how if someone's in a low mood, it makes them say mean things and panic and be bossy and critical and just rude. So sometimes my sister is in really unhappy and low moods and is just kind of bratty and mean. I mean, just like every other little sister in the world. And just like every other big sister in the world, if like your sister's mean to you, your immediate reaction is to snap back and argue. So we'd get into really big arguments and I would always get really upset about the things that she said. And unfortunately, since I have anxiety, I let all those things really get to me and they really bothered me. So in this chapter, it said when like things like this come up, you just need to realize that if a person is being mean to you, obviously there's something wrong with them or they're like emotionally unstable. It also said that you just need to let them be and let it play out on its own without trying to fix it or making it worse. So of course the other day we had a disagreement and we started fighting and she freaked out and said some really mean things. This time I didn't argue or say anything back because I'm trying to stick to the book to have it help me with my anxiety. And because of this, a few hours later, she came up to me like crying. She's like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to say those things." And since I didn't like argue back with her, that was her reaction. Like I'm sure if I did argue with her, she would not have apologized. This chapter helped with my stress because I learned that I shouldn't overreact to everything and I can't let every little thing stress me out, like the words she says when she's upset but she doesn't mean. Like that's not something to stress out about. So I'll see you on my next entry. So obviously, as you just saw, this is my fourth entry. How exciting, the last one. So the next chapter I decided to start reading in my book is Be Careful That You're Not Practicing Being Unhappy. And like I said 10,000 other times before, that's part of my, my goal of this project is to just be more happy with life. In the chapter, it talks about how unhappy people are always frustrated and stressed out, which is kind of my life. The first step it says to start being more happy is to just think happy, positive, and hopeful all the time. It also said if you have negative thoughts, you're practicing essentially being unhappy. One trick it said to practice is that the next time like you're really stressed out, snap yourself out of the negative thoughts and just look on the bright side. So the other day I was really stressed out about this anatomy test because our teacher doesn't teach and it's really frustrating. I was so stressed out about this test that I started having like an anxiety attack and I was worried that I was going to fail it and not do well and I wouldn't get good grade in the class, which I need for college, you know. But then I realized that I needed to just think back to this book and that it said that I just need to calm down and instead of worrying, I should just study instead. Because all the time that I spent worrying, I could have spent studying more to prepare myself so I wouldn't fail. And by doing this, I got a B on the test, which is actually probably the highest grade that I've gotten in the class, so, you know, this project does help. This chapter definitely did help with my anxiety, because now when I do have negative thoughts like that, I mean, that's not an extreme negative thought, you know, but I just need to like stop, take a deep breath, and realize that if I think positively, everything is going to work out. So the next time that I see you, it'll be time for my Hello everyone. So this is my conclusion to our self-help project. I would definitely say that this project has helped my anxiety problems and my my somewhat depression problems that I have, and also it helped me to be more happy. This book definitely helped me find more ways to cope with my problems, like to make it better. And I've only read like 4 or 5 chapters out of the book, and there's like there's 100 chapters. So definitely if I continue to read it, it'll definitely help me more, I think. Overall, I learned that I just need to not let every little thing bother me anymore, and to just be happy, obviously. And to not let other people get me down, and to just practice being happier, and just not so worrisome all the time. I've accepted the fact that I'm always going to have anxiety no matter what. I mean, it's part of who I am, I guess you could say, and there's nothing that I can change about that. I've also accepted that I'm not always going to be happy, because honestly, who is? And I mean, no one's happy all the time. But at least now I know how to deal with it more. So thank you to Ms. Parker for assigning this project to help me get over my anxiety, and thank you to Richard Carlson who wrote the book Don't Sweat the Small Stuff for Teens. Adios, amigos!